Howdy folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Cub and welcome back to Cub's Place, and today we're going to talk about the Wii. I've been working on this lovely little shelf over here that you can't see, full of all of my old consoles and games and things, and I thought, you know what? I'd like to add a Wii to it, because even though I didn't own one, I did play with one a lot growing up, and my brother had one, so I asked him, hey, are you using that thing? And then he just kind of laughed at me and said I could have it. I don't know why I'm not sure, but whatever, so I went and I got it. Turns out it's caked in dust, and all the accessories are at like 20 different places around the house. It was almost like a game in and of itself to find it, and then find the cables and the sensor bars. When I finally got it home, I got it all cleaned up, got all the dust off of it, and then went to plug it into the TV to make sure it still worked. That's when I realized it doesn't have an HDMI port. I guess that's not a big thing. I mean, it is kind of an older system, but still, why doesn't it have an HDMI port? It's not that old. Still, that's fine. You know, you can get a pretty decent signal out of the composite cables. You know, you plug them in and you can get 480i. What? Now, what's interesting about that screen setting inside of the Wii is that you either have 480i or, if you want to, you can maximize the HD potential of that powerhouse of a console by going all the way up to 480p, and in order to do that, you're going to need some component cables. Yeah. Are they worth it? Now, I don't know if Nintendo ever made these as an official, like, add-on. I guess they must have. If they have a 480 option in the setup, they must have made these. I got these third-party from Amazon, and the shipping, I mean, they're a bit worse for wears. I mean, I think the box was once perfectly squared and the bottom wasn't falling out of it, but who cares? Who needs the box? This cable is what we're looking for here, and that lovely Wii gray that Nintendo uses. Ah, goodness. So, of course, at the end here, we've got our audio left and right here, these two, and then we've got our three different colors, our RGB. And we're gonna go plug these in, see if we can maximize our Wii's performance and get some glorious 480p. Before we do that though, let's make sure we all know what the difference is between 480i and 480p. So I means interlaced. So when it refreshes an image, rather than refreshing the whole thing at once, it refreshes half and then the next half. Alright, so it's not top and bottom, it's actually interlaced. So you have lines of pixels and they update pop, 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 pop. And what that can do is it can create a more blurry image. So sitting still, it's still 480, so it looks exactly the same, but when you start to move, you might begin to notice a little bit of blur, motion's not quite as smooth. 480p on the other hand, again, the same amount of pixels, a still image will look exactly the same, but when motion starts happening on the screen will refresh the entire thing. P stands for progressive. It refreshes the whole thing at once. So each frame is a full refresh rather than half, 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 half. Hope that makes sense. If not, you can look it up on the Google. People explain it much better on the Google. Alright, so here is the Wii. As you can tell, I've been playing a bit of Super Mario Galaxy. And let's plug in this cable and see where this gets us. Okay, so we installed the cable. I knocked the sensor bar off the top of the TV twice. And as you can see, the option for EDTV or HDTV 480p has been unlocked. Let's go ahead and select it. If I turn on the Wiimote, should be able to, do I have to actually like select it? I can't just hit the up button? Apparently so, and confirm. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh, it looks exactly the same, because of course it would, because we're looking at still images. I'm gonna have to play a game. The only game I've got on hand is Super Mario Galaxy, and there's no way I'm putting that on the internet, so if you'll excuse me, I'll be right back. Alright, so I just finished playing some Super Mario Galaxy, and I've got to say yes, it does look a lot smoother. You can tell the difference between interlaced and progressive, I suppose, if you're looking for it, and it is a fairly large difference. I'm very, very happy with the way that this turned out. Now for the question, is it worth it? Well, considering I bought this cable for $4.99, and I am an Amazon Prime member, so I had free shipping, I'd say yes, it's totally worth it. I'm not sure what shipping is without the Amazon Prime membership, but it probably only a few bucks. So if you only have the composite cables and you want to get the components, I'd say yeah, 10 bucks, you know, with shipping, I suppose. It's definitely worth it if you want to have a nice smooth frame rate without all the interlacing. There's also an HDMI converter you can get that plugs into the back of the Wii, but it's about 20 bucks by itself. It doesn't even include an HDMI cable, and it will not give you any better performance. Remember, the Wii maxes out at 480p, so really, unless you just need HDMI, like you don't have a component plug, these cables are perfectly sufficient. Now I should note, I don't know if the Wii shipped with this by default. It makes sense to me that Nintendo would have shipped the Wii with composite and component cables, but since my family has owned it for years and I had trouble just finding this stuff by itself, I don't know. I have no idea. So maybe it did. Maybe you can check in your box if you still have it lying around and be like, oh yeah, there that is. If not though, I'd say at $4.99, it's definitely worth the money. And now we know. I don't know how to end this, so I'm just gonna stop talking. Bye!